What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Nuggets Talk Recap. I am your host, Leonard Pinckney of the GLP. And man, what a game we got for y'all tonight. Lord have mercy. What a game. I'm going to go ahead and get into the recap, y'all. First quarter, halfway through, Nuggets actually start well, man. 14-7. Jamal Murray was hot, had 8 points early, including 2 3-pointers. It was looking good. But 1 minute later, Houston went on a 7-0 run. Denver just playing sloppy, and they tied the game. Jokic subbed out after that point, and he started the game really slow again. He was 0 for 5. And after one, Houston was up 27-22. Second quarter, halfway through, the bench actually started the second quarter well. Got to make a note of that for this game tonight. They played well. At the 6:11 mark, it was 39-36 Denver. After Porter finally got the ball, he was able to get some shots up in the second quarter with the second unit. I think because there was a moment, I'm going to talk about it a little later, but Reggie Jackson at the end of the second quarter and the end of the first quarter and beginning of the second quarter was just running a bunch of pick and roll with DeAndre Jordan that wasn't always working. It was like, hey, Porter's on the court. Get him the ball. As soon as he got the ball in the second quarter, scored 7 points. It was incredible. It was shocking. But like, I know it's shocking when you give him the ball and he scores, but like, come on, let's get my man the ball in the second unit. Anyway, 2:03 mark, Denver still playing poor. Jokic at the 2:03 mark in this game in the first half was 1 for 10, and that's how he finished the half. Houston was up 50-43, or excuse me, 52-48 at the half. Jokic 1 for 10, 3 points, 8 boards, and an assist. Jamal had 11, KCP 10, and Porter with 9. Houston had 7 offensive rebounds, but neither team was really shooting well. Rockets were at 39%, Nuggets were at 40. Both teams were shooting a lot of threes, not making a lot, and Denver just didn't look like themselves for most of this game. Into the third, 3:32 mark. Actually, it was 7:46 mark, 74-71 Houston after Dylan Brooks tech. Nuggets went a quick 5 run and cut the lead to 3. Then the Houston lead went back up to 12 at 3:32. Nuggets energy was just low and weird all night. It was kind of a carryover from that Clippers game. 1:18 mark, Houston's up 11. 3 from Jokic and a hustle play from Peyton Watson leads to a quick 5-0 run. But Houston closed out the half, scoring 7 straight, and they got their lead up to 92-84 after 3. Jokic was 4 of 17 at this point, and Houston improved their field goal percentage to 50%. They scored 40 points in the third quarter. So Denver was just, they were in the mud, man. And at the 6:55 mark, it was 103-85. So it looked like there was no hope, but Jokic did check back into the game with the team down 18. And that's when it got exciting. 7-2 run got Houston to call a timeout. 5:32 mark, it got cut to 14. And this is a note I wanted to make. The Houston Rockets were just berating the officials, but got no text. It was just like the Phoenix game where Frank Vogel and the entire Suns bench went absolutely ballistic and no foul or text got called on them. It was ridiculous. But an MPJ and one gets the 3 to 103-92. Jamal Murray and one cuts the lead to single digits. Jokic floater completed an 18-0 run and got Denver within 7, 103-96. Jalen Green came back, hit a couple free throws, and after that, the officiating just went off the rails. I don't even want to talk about it, but I am going to give it. I am going to talk about it later in the segments. 110, 101. Murray got a tech. Jalen Green shot a free throw, and then we got the ball back and got the closest that we got all game, 104-110 after Michael Porter hit a 3. But Jamal Murray was getting held, and the refs still weren't calling anything. He got a second tech, got kicked out of the game, and eventually more free throws iced it. Houston won 114-106. So everyone's favorite segment, what did Jokic do tonight? Numbers actually look pretty good for someone who's not Jokic. 23, 16, and 5. But again, 9 and 26 from the field. I think it was just in his head tonight. It was just like, yo, why am I missing these shots that I normally don't miss? It was weird. His last 2 games, he shot a combined 18 for 58. Very un-Jokic-like. He did play well in the comeback, so I'm not mad at that part, obviously. And that's where he got most of his numbers with us making the comeback. I have zero concern about Jokic, and everyone who's a serious Nuggets fan should also have zero concern. It's 2 bad games in a row. I know we never see this from him, but hey, man, it's happened. He's going to be just fine. I have zero concern about it. It's been weird because you don't see him struggle a lot. So when these games happen, it's an interesting thing to look at because obviously these games are so rare. It's kind of a challenge to figure out how you critique it, right? How do you talk about it? And the way that I would reference it is just that same energy, that weird energy that was there for the Clippers game prior. It followed itself in this one tonight. Um, the offense just wasn't running smoothly, and when Jokic got the ball, shots that he normally makes, floaters, turnarounds, hooks, they just weren't falling. And Denver's offense you could see the rest of the team kind of just being like, "Hey, yo, we're gonna," because for 99% of the time, that's how the rest of the guys on the court see this offense. It's Nikola making 7 of 9 shots, and that's how the offense keeps humming. And if the offense keeps humming, the offense is in rhythm. The Houston Rockets aren't able to take the ball out of and just run every time. They got to take the ball out of the net. That allows Denver's defense to get set. It just sets everything in motion. Denver shooting a high percentage is what keeps the entire flow of their team going. So when they don't, and especially when Nikola is getting a majority of those shots and he's not shooting well, it affects the entirety of the team, not just the offense, but the defense as well, because not being able to get set is a big deal in this league. So Houston took advantage of that for the majority of this ball game, and it wasn't until the end where Houston almost choked it away did Jokic finally start playing some Jokic ball. And it's a little tough to get another loss, and unfortunately, this is the first loss at home for Denver, and it's Houston's first road win. So just like all the weird things happening, and now Houston's actually 3-1 on the year against us. I'm done playing Houston. We played them 4 times. We played them 3 times in November, and then now one more time here in December. I'm just done with playing Houston, and we're gonna be done with them. So thank goodness. The only nice note is that we got Jeff Green his ring. So shout out to Jeff Green. Salute to you, my boy. Shout out. Um, the others, Jamal Murray, 21 points. I thought he played okay. A little bit of over dribbling, but he did okay. Porter had 20. He didn't take one shot in the first quarter, and they finally gave him the ball in the second quarter. He took one difficult shot, but the rest of the shots I liked that he took. Um, this offense needs to continue to find ways, and Malone needs to continue to find ways to get Porter the ball in the second unit. Get him the ball in the wing, get him the ball mid post, run him off screens. This offense should just be Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan pick and rolls. You can give Michael Porter Jr. the ball on the wing, let him ISO and create a shot. You can hand him the ball off and help him get a shot. You can give him a screen and roll and give him a shot. It's year 5 for this man now, man. We got to stop acting like he's a guy that just stands in the corner to do nothing, especially when he's with the second unit, especially when he's your third highest paid player. You need to get him the ball in those moments. There shouldn't be just 5 straight possessions of Jackson and DJ pick and roll and Porter just standing in the corner like he's Justin Holiday. It's ridiculous, and hopefully that is something that the team continues to do when they stagger Porter with the bench unit. Get him the ball and let him score. Guess what? I'd rather have a contested Michael Porter Jr. 3 over a Peyton Watson wide open 3, or sometimes even a contested Christian Brown 3. We need to let Porter cook in those opportunities, and I hope the offense continues to grow and evolve around that as the season goes on. Peyton Watson, you get another shout out because, man, this kid was all over the floor hustling, man. There was not a lot of energy tonight, but when that kid was in the game, he was playing hard and he was so solid again defensively. Shout out to P. Watt. And he contributed on the offensive end. It wasn't clean, but he had 13 points. So I would take that from Peyton every day of the week, man. And his turnaround these past couple of weeks, just with his energy and the way he's been playing defensively, man, I'm so happy to see how Peyton's contributing to the squad. Once everybody just gets it together, we're going to go ahead and Peyton keeps playing at this level, we going to be set, dog. So I'm very happy with P. Watt and very happy with his performance tonight. The 2 other starters, AG and KCP. Hey, man, these dudes got to get it together. They did not close out the fourth quarter. They get it together. I'm obviously being a little facetious here. I don't really care too much about what's going on right now. But in terms of the big picture, we know it's just a couple games in December. But Aaron Gordon looks a little bit lost out there offensively because teams aren't guarding him at the 3-point line, and he's trying to figure out how he's supposed to score. There was one possession where I think Aaron really got it, and he got the ball in the wing, put his head down, went right into Dylan Brooks, and got an and one. And I think sometimes AG forgets that he's 6'9", 250, and can run through these people with his shoulders, dog. Like, Jabari Smith should have had no chance of guarding Aaron Gordon in the post. But you'd see too many times AG fading AG taking bad shots, AG making bad decisions. I know he's kind of getting back from his injury too, but it's been a couple games now. Starters are together and they haven't looked good together. So I am looking for AG to kind of, hey, just go back in the lab, man. And hey, 1-3 a game, at most two is probably good, but the rest of your shots need to be off of cuts, moving around, finding ways to get open underneath the basket because you are one of the best finishers in this game. KCP, even though he didn't close tonight, I'm not actually too concerned about it. I'm just being a little facetious with this game, but he'll be fine. He's gonna close obviously a lot more games for us. It's just tonight he didn't. And the officials. Tonight was an all timer for these refs being awful. The inconsistency in calls was staggering. And I don't like blaming refs. I really don't. It's one of the last things I do as a basketball fan, talking about how a game is won or lost. But these officials, they thought the game was going to be a blowout and they were reffing the last 4 minutes like it was a 25-point game. Denver was coming back. Denver made an 18-0 run. They got this lead down to 6. And the level of inconsistency, whether it was Houston getting touch foul calls for themselves and Denver coming down and getting tanked and not having any calls called for them, was staggering. They called Şengün for a jump ball when he ripped Jokic's entire arm. His entire arm. That was insane. The entire Houston bench went crazy because they thought the ball went off of Jokic. Ime Udoka is staring holes through officials, and they didn't give him no text. But then the Nuggets are the ones who ended up getting 3 texts tonight? That was crazy. Even Michael Malone, after the game, went after the official and told him he was awful. It was terrible to close out this game. I feel very bad for the players because even though that's not why they lost this game tonight, those refs need to be fined or suspended because they ruined what was potentially an all-time comeback with the way they were blowing this game from an officiating standpoint. It was fucking terrible. I could not believe what I was watching. I know I'm a Nuggets fan, and I know I'm biased, but good Lord, if you were objective and you were watching that game too, you could not believe the kind of calls that they were not calling. The bumps, the body bumps, the hacks, Jokic just getting fouled from everywhere. The stuff that they weren't calling and they were calling, I couldn't believe. The level of inconsistency was terrible tonight. And Rodney Mott, all y'all need to get suspended and fined for that performance. That was terrible. Stats recap. Both teams shot terribly, 42% from the field. Houston did have a free throw edge, 42-27. I attribute that more to just Denver having to foul late more than anything. But all other stats really aren't noteworthy. Denver was actually ahead. They were tied at 47 rebounds. Nuggets were actually ahead in most of the categories. But neither team shot the ball well, either from 3 or the field. And that 40-point quarter, or not even the 40-point quarter, just the Nuggets playing inconsistent for 42 minutes is what is the majority of the reason why they didn't win this game. The comeback was nice, and I was into it towards the end, so that's why you always rock with your team. You never know what's going to happen. They cut it to 6, which is really cool. If Jamal doesn't get a tech there, who knows? But it is what it is. Denver is now lost 2 in a row after that little mini break of 3 games, and they're going to get a couple more days off now. They're not playing for this weekend. They're off Saturday and Sunday, and their next game is going to be on Monday when they go to Atlanta to play the Hawks. We love the Hawks, right? We love Trae Young. No, we don't. He always gives us trouble. But anyway, thank you guys again for listening to the Nuggets Talk Recap. I'm your host, Leonard Pinckney. Thank you again for watching and listening. See you next time.